I'm still moving up. That's the money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck. We don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck. We don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved. Stage nation been going up. Volume isn't my middle name. Still see me in that order book. Need to learn to trade the patience and maybe then you'll start to cook. But still I swear I'm always chasing. I'm dumb as fuck. We don't blow it up. Jupiter, blasting out of the universe. Need to loosen up, but deep in my pursuit of the cadet. Am I cool enough? No, probably not. I'm still moving up. That's a money bird while sitting at the computer. And yeah, mission moves along. Gonna make it easy for them all to come and get involved.
All right, folks, there's so much good stuff. We couldn't even wait until that last minute of the song to end. Let's get going here. You can see I'm here. You can see Meow is here. Deeply excited, as always, for the call. Greetings to everyone. Let us know in the chat. Shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching over on Twitter. Let us know where you're calling in from. That's that excited look I like to see. Meow, how you doing, buddy?
Meow.
There we go. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Meow.
We are racing to APE safely, which we're going to talk a bunch about today. Very exciting new product updates coming in. There was a lot of my DMs were flooded last week. DMs were flooded, saying, please do not let the lady killer loose in Malaysia. I'm happy to report I've talked to the Malaysian police. They have assured us that all the ladies in Malaysia are safe. The divorce rate has gone up as a result of Soju being over there. But other than that, it is all pretty good. Shout out to the lady. Can I get a little lady killer in the chat? He's going to be on this call as well.
Hilarious. Yeah.
So funny. And we're strapping in for Juply. There's Jupawary. There's Juply. It's just every month, Jupe month, Meow? Is that
No. Unfortunately, not every month Jupe month, okay? There's like two it's funny because we didn't even call it Juply, right? Someone just said Juply, yeah, let's go. It's funny, right? But it's really it's really cool if you think about it, right? Like Juply is like the start of the year, right? It's like Jubilee, you guys know Jubilee? Jubilee.
Course, yeah.
The Jubilee is like but not everyone knows, right? Because you are like, you're in the UK and shit. But Jubilee is like this like celebration thing, right? And then I think it's also really kind of appropriate, right? That on the Jubilee, which is like where we kind of like ideally, hopefully and stuff, we get to kind of like share some love. And then the Jubilee, whereby we make some decisions together. We just come together and we just like decide, hey, you know what we're gonna do, right, for the future, right? Let's go, Yeah.
There's a lot to discuss on that side, and we're going to get into all of it here in just a second. In 3, 2, 1, let's kick this off officially. Hello, and welcome to the Planetary call. It is Juply. It is Juply 3rd, 2024. We have a very fun call today. Of course, we're going to start off, though, with the official cadet theme song. Yes, sir. I gotta learn the lyrics to that song at some point so I can sing along. If you are as amped up as I am for this call today, drop a little JM in the chat, please. I beg you, because there's a lot coming in. We got product updates, there's community updates.
So before we get started on stuff, just a few things, right? A few things real quick is that number one, I think I would totally give a grant. You know those like calendars that people do in the. I'm older, right? So that just calendars that people do.
Like a physical calendar.
I'll totally do a like calendar, right? A calendar. It'll be funny, like Jubilee and Juply, right? I mean, that'll be hilarious, by the way. Those calendar, with like cats and shit. That'd be great. Secondly, I'm actually working on a soundtrack. I'm actually working on I'm actually working on an EDM soundtrack. I'm not joking.
This is real?
It's real. I'm doing it. It's gonna be fire. Yeah.
Do you have like a keyboard or like an Ableton like pad or something that you're using?
No. I just pay someone to do it. Yeah, but I give artistic direction. Yeah, Yeah. I'm like I do artistic direction. So I want to make it an album, a Meow album.
I love that idea. I hope to hear you rap a little bit on it as well, perhaps.
You heard me rap. It's pretty good, right? Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's not bad. People will enjoy it, I can assure you. So you have a calendar to look forward to, a Meow album to look forward to, and you have the rest of this call to look forward to, because we have a bunch of good stuff happening over here.
And the Meow stand up. And the Meow stand up. And of course, already the poetry that's everyone loves. The man is you just got creativity bouncing all off of you, man. That's pretty wild. You already know Meow. So you don't need to get introduced to him. However, you may or may not know, my name is Cash Donda. I lead the Uplink working group, which produces this call and a bunch of other content for Jupiter. Sherpa over at Super Team and the host of the Solana ecosystem call, which is happening tomorrow. Would love to see people out there. And we are going to go through quite an agenda today. But in case it is your first time, just as a quick reminder, this is the 19th time that we're doing this. They said it was impossible. I don't know who they are, but somebody said it was impossible, I'm sure. There's always haters. But if you're new to this call, the whole point is to celebrate the people and the products that make this community so great. And that's what we're going to focus on today, not token price or anything else like that. So buckle up. It's going to be a fast call. There's a lot to cover. We have wins of the week, of course. And since we didn't do a call last week, there's actually even more wins than usual. Then we have some product updates, including Ape, which I'm giga excited about, the alpha version of Ape. Then we have
ASR conversation to be had where Meow and Soju will walk us through a little bit how that's going to work. And then we have just two fantastic partners to spotlight today. Dialect, who are helping on the Blinks and Action side. They have the Action Stack. So Chris, the founder of Dialect, will be here. And then dVIN, which is the latest addition to the Gum Alliance. My guy David's going to be here talking through everything around that as well. Before we end with the closing POAP, I know people in the chat are always asking when POAP, when QR code, etc. End of the call is when that's going to happen. And to the person who's asking, Cash Donda, I am of Indian origin. Not sure how that's relevant, but it is true. Shout out to India. All right, let's go into the wins of the week first and foremost. There's a bunch of them. There are a bunch of them. Let's start off with this big one here. Oh, the Uplink budget vote has officially passed, which is really exciting. Thanks to everybody in the community who voted for us, and thanks for everyone who voted against us, but gave some thoughtful critiques as to why. Much appreciated. You can go read the full proposal and what we're up to on the J.U.P Research Forum. Big shout out to everyone else in the working group, including Semanti, Famous Clouds, OG, Pedro, Srijani, and all the satellites and everyone else as well. Appreciate everyone for their support. But over on the product side, there have been a bunch of wins. Yeah, W's with the hands, W's in the chat. On the product side, though, this is a big one, right? What I think is cool about Jupiter, it's, perfection is always kind of out of reach, but we're taking one step closer every time. Swap v3 Metropolis is live, and it comes with a bevy of new features. Not only does it have instant routing, so as soon as tokens are launched, within that first 30 seconds of that pool being deployed, you're going to be able to route directly to them, which is pretty amazing, especially if you trade meme coins. Dynamic slippage, which has saved my ass many, many times, is now built in right there to the swap. And then maybe the coolest feature.
So I really want more people to answer dynamic slippage, right? Because we really spent like months on this, right?
It's a hard problem.
Getting it right. It's a hard problem because on one hand, people want convenience, right? So they always said about high slippage, just get it through, right? But then when we say high slippage, two problems, right? Number one, someone might dip it, right? Second, you might get MEV, right? Yeah. But then if you set it too low, your thing doesn't go through, right? So it's really difficult problem to solve, right? And then so anyway, so I think we did that. Basically, we had to spend we spent about a really significant amount of time doing this, right? And so the way it was actually pretty smart. So it's happening on three things, right? The three parts of it, right? The first part, the first part of it, and we will write a thread on this pretty soon. But it was at least right. So on the back end, as we compute the route, we also compute how likely it is, to be the likely impact of the slippage, right? Secondly, based on your trade size and your trade system, we apply advanced heuristics. Right, for example, right, say you between SOL and USDC, right, it should be a much tighter pack. Between USDC and USDC, much tighter pack, right? So things like that, right? And then thirdly, okay, and thirdly, we do what we call inference. That means what, and then what we do is that we actually look at your the slippage and we try to test it. Simulate once and we try to do it again. So actually we do that for the damage. So there's actually a lot of people in the team, like a lot of people in the team, right? Like Melvin and Zen and Dixon, right? Who really kind of work together on dynamic slippage, right? And some people are giving feedback. So some people are giving very important feedback that it still doesn't work sometimes. So we have gotten a lot of really good feedback for it, but I think but it still doesn't work sometimes, right? So I think please tell us now. Who's this guy? Sorry, what's his name?
Which guy?
No, someone on the chat said something very important. Chirac. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, guys, we try our best, right? We try our best, but we are never perfect, right? So you should always tell us, and we try to fix it. Done. Okay, that's how it works. All right, thanks, guys. That's it.
Yeah. One step forward each day. That honestly is enough for like a major update. Dynamic slippage is a big enough problem to try to tackle, but that was not all. In Jupiter v3, you also have smart token filtering. This is one that I'm really excited about personally, because anytime a new hot token gets launched, there's like 500 duplicates that'll come up that are really just there to steal your money. And now with smart token filtering, there's a better sense of which is the real token that you're probably trying to buy. And if that's not enough, the ecosystem token list helps support with even more context. So you can be confident that you're buying the thing that you're intending to trade and swap for. And then there's, of course, streamlined mornings and more that we don't have time to go into all of them, but shout out to everybody on the Jupiter team for pushing this one forward. I think it's a very, very cool thing. Speaking of new products, though, speaking of the meme coin trading, do we have any degens in the chat? Can you drop a little ape emoji for me in the chat if you yourself might be a degen? Because if so, you are going to very much enjoy this new product in alpha. So it's just starting off here, called Ape. Ape is here to solve a pretty simple or a pretty straightforward problem. Trading meme coins typically is kind of dangerous, it's kind of complicated, and it's pretty expensive. Right? It's dangerous because there's a lot of tokens out there and it's hard to know, was this LP burned? Was the mint authority revoked, and so on and so forth. It can be complicated because you don't exactly know what you're trading. You have to use new tools, paste contract addresses, all this kind of stuff. It can be expensive because oftentimes some of the meme coin trading bots that exist out there will take up to 1, 2, 3% at times. Ape, on the other hand, safe, smooth, and cheap. I don't want to steal all of DeFi Racer's thunder, so I won't say too much about that right now, but just know that there's a bunch of safety features built in. There's a bunch of features that make it smoother, including automatic retries and dynamic slippage. And the fees during this launch period are down to 0.069%. Nice. So
actually more, I think 0.0069%.
Did I miss a zero? There's so many zeros.
Zero,
I can't even keep track of all the zeros. Yeah, extremely low fees relative to everybody else, which is pretty great. We're gonna have DeFi Racer talk about how it works in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. But a big shout out to Ape. I see my apes in the chat. There's some degens who are looking forward to use this as well, which I love.
Yeah. By the way, guys, one thing real quick is that I think if you have any feedback, please tell us. It's alpha. It's really, really early. It's really, really early and stuff. So tell us how it works. And then let's go. Yeah.
Give it a spin, folks. Give it a spin. Try it out. It's going to get better very quickly. And on the product side, the last thing on the product side, did someone say Onramps? I'm old enough to remember. I know Meow remembers this as well. Getting money into crypto used to be incredibly difficult, right? You'd have to open up a centralized exchange account, and it was kind of shady, and it was hard to move tokens around. No longer. Right now on J.U.P.ag, OnRamper has been integrated, which means you can on-ramp into crypto with just a credit card. It'll automatically route you to the best service and the best price, depending on where you are in the world. Go check that out. Big shout out to the OnRamper team. This is one of the ways that we grow the pie and bring more people into crypto by just making it easier for them to access it. So this one is really exciting, I think. On the integration side, there were also a bunch of wins. The first one, Jupiter was one of the launch partners for Blinks that people would have seen on Solana. Super cool. Basically, you can copy and paste any swap URL, paste that onto X, and you get this very cool looking little card that'll come up and make it easy for you to swap in and out without even leaving Twitter. This is one of those things that I think helps meet users where they are. That's the critical idea. If the masses won't come to crypto, we will take crypto to the masses. And Blinks are the first one here. Big shout out to our friends from Dialect. You're going to hear from Chris in just a little bit to talk more about how this all works.
Hey, someone is saying that Onramps has a max cap of 300. Is that true though? I wasn't aware of that.
300, I'm not sure. Soju, maybe you can confirm for us in the private chat, or I'll bring you up on stage. We're gonna look into this. We'll look into this.
It shouldn't be 300. Yeah, but I think if it is, it will be a lot more clear. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, we'll do
Cool.
it. Yeah.
So on the one side, that's integrations. Blinks, the first one. The next one here, PYUSD, PayPal, which has hundreds of millions of traditional Web2 users, has launched its own stablecoin on Solana, and PYUSD is now live on Jupiter as well. Pretty soon, we'll see support for PYUSD across a bunch of other payment integrations like Helio and Sphere Labs, but love to see this one happening. More stablecoins is great. Stablecoins, one of the areas which has just clear product market fit in crypto. And it's great to see Jupiter leading the way on the integration side. Lastly, on the integration side, JLP.
It's also a really big part of the gum thing, right? It's like, I think if I think if you have enough providers who accept PYUSD, right? Makes sense? And it's all integrated within this Jupiter universe, right? So you can go from any token to any product on PayPal. You know what I'm saying? So that is kind of like what you want to go. Yeah. That's pretty awesome, right? I mean, but obviously we need to wait for that. For that, obviously we need to actually wait for the PayPal side to actually integrate their merchants, right? And for that, I'm not sure yet, right? Saying, hey, Cash, we should invite PayPal up for a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We'll bring him on next week.
Let's go.
See,
do it.
Soju frantically opening his Telegram to find their contact. Excellent. And by the way, it's a quick update from Soju. Shout out to Soju, the lady killer. The $300 limit on the on-ramper is only if you have not done KYC. So you can on-ramp up to $300 without KYC and much more if you have done KYC and kind of given some information about yourself. Cool. Last integration here, JLP is now live on Drift. This is something that I think kind of separates the Solana ecosystem from some of the others, where, hey, competitors at a place might be really eager to knock each other down, right? That's not what we see in Solana DeFi. Particularly, that's not what we see at Jupiter, right? Here to grow the pie and make life better for everyone. Drift partnering here. They are now listing JLP so you can use it as collateral or earn additional yield against it if you deposit it into their borrow lend kind of product. JLP, of course, is the token behind the Jupiter Perpetuals product that allows you to kind of fund some of the things that happen on the Perpetuals place. So shout out to the Drift team for doing this. I think Xiong and Soju had a nice space with Cindy recently that was very well received. We love to see the pie getting bigger. JLP now has even more utility, which is great to see. On the community side, this is the big one for the week. Active staking rewards are on the way. I don't want to talk too much about this because I know Meow and Soju are going to go into this deeply. But if you are watching this right now, just know if you've been an active participant in governance for the Jupe DAO, you staked your Jupe, you've been voting on proposals, you are about to get those ASR, that active staking rewards that have been long awaited. They'll be given every quarter. Soju will tell more details soon. Shout out to Soju and Meow the slave driver. I just want it to be known, I did not write down Meow the slave driver. That was somebody else. We have
what? I'm the best cat in the world. What slave driver? What the fuck?
Wasn't me. I blame Soju. All right, so we have just throw him immediately under the bus because he's not on the stage and he can't defend himself, which is what makes it fun for me. Next community win here. This is a very fun one. Drop a little 0 in the chat if you are a zero boy. Zero. The Zero community, which is just on fire, by the way. A special shout out to some of the Zero boys that came down to London when me and Meow were there 2 weeks ago, including Irish, who I think jumped on a flight with like 8 hours notice from Ireland to come to London to hang out here. The Zero boy community is very strong. And they've just received a $100,000 grant from
the best PPP community in crypto. You know, it's funny because that PPP ethos actually took like fucking a few months to come out, right? It's like the whole because you really had to like go through a lot, right? And it's like it's also pretty funny because like in this recently I tweeted about this, right? There's this Jensen Wang, the founder of NVIDIA. He had this like really great video, right? That talks about how like if you have very high expectations, you have very low resilience, right? So resilience is like inversely proportional to how much expectations you have, right? What does it mean? It means that moon boys essentially have zero fucking resilience, you know, right?
Because the expectation is to go to the moon is the highest possible.
Yeah, precisely, because the expectations of moon boy, right, is like just go moon, right? And then you just keep telling everyone in your group that it's gonna moon, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, right? The funny thing is, right? If you look at the most resilient communities, right? You know, whether it is whether it is a Bitcoin or Solana $8, right? Or like, you know, or when Jupe first started, right? Or you go way back to the, you know, some ancient cultures, right? It is what formed the critical culture is never the moon boys. Never. Moon boys never, ever form the critical cultures. You know, the critical cultures are always formed when the going gets tough and people band together and say, okay, no expectations, no promises, let's book our ass off, right? You know,
right.
So I feel like that's actually really, really interesting. I think, you know, I feel like that's the mindset I think we need to move. I think that's the mindset I think we want to move move crypto into, the mindset of like zero expectation, zero promises. We shut the fuck up, you know, green candles on hand, red candles in ass, right? You know, it's fine, we go, you know. So I feel that and the grant is our is a way to kind of bootstrap that philosophy. Yeah,
fantastic. And this is a grant from the team, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Or is this from it's a grant from the team over to the Zero community. If you haven't already checked out the Zero white paper, it's right here. You can read it right now in 10 seconds. Shout out to Meow. I also hear that the Discord is buzzing, so please do go in there if you want to be a PPP or in a PPP community. If you want to be a Zero boy yourself, discord.com/invite/Zero.
Also more context on the grant is that I think you know, the Zero has been in the Jupiter Discord for a long time, for a really long time, right? And then they really kind of incubated and formed and like really grown. Can you show white paper again? Can you show the white paper again, just real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, just show. So I feel like the Discord they have been in our Jupiter Discord for a long time, right? And that's forming and grouping and everything. And so, and then recently they went to a new Discord and they're going to go to a new DAO, right? You know, but it's not a DAO, it's a ZAO, right? Get it 0, get it ZA0, the ZAO, right? Yeah.
What does the A stand for?
What's that?
What does the A stand for?
Same thing as privacy, whatever, it's fine.
Okay.
Ask me questions. Yeah, but anyway, I'm really excited about this thing. I think it's also the most it's also the fittest Discord, okay, in the world, in crypto by far, right? And so why join Zero? Because number one, we're the fittest guys in crypto, right? Secondly, we have the highest resilience of crypto, and thirdly, we have the best white paper in crypto. Okay.
Pretty good.
Strong statement.
If you're not sold right now, I don't know what is going to get you sold. Go check out the Zero community. Shout out to all the Zero boys in the chat as well. One last thing here on the wins of the week before we hear some exciting product updates and then some ASR updates and partner updates as well. The Solana APAC Summit, huge success. Look at this. Look at this lady killer right here. Look at that smile. Look at too good.
Stop it. Cash.
I gotta take off the shirt. Too much. Soju gets on screen. The Solana APAC Summit was a joint production between Jupiter, Venta, and Super Team. Really thrilled about this. I think something like 1,000 people came out every day, or 800 people came out every single day for panels, workshops, and just community meeting. I know there were a bunch of cadets that came as well. So shout out to everyone who made that a success. A lot of folks happening. Next stop, Singapore. Soon. Let's see. I don't know. A little teaser, perhaps. A little teaser. All right. Any other wins that we missed here, Meow?
One thing real quick here is that I wasn't there, but I really applaud everyone who went. Right? I mean, it was like, despite the food, so it was like, I just much respect. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Bro, the vibes are good. You gotta just tank them with your terrible takes. I don't know, maybe. But shout out to everyone that did go out. I think 55 countries people applied for, if I remember the numbers correctly. Pretty incredible.
Countries went to taste the food there. Holy shit. Let's go.
All right. Enough of these culture wars. I thought cancel culture was done, but maybe not. Let's go on over to the product update side. And there's a very exciting one today. You already heard me talk about it a little bit. Ape is live in alpha. It needs your feedback. It needs you to test it out. I want to bring up on the stage our guy, DeFi Racer, who's led this charge and looks a little bit like a Sith Lord, an evil villain in this dark. And there we go. Now he's back on the bright side.
So DeFi Racer is also the legendary guy that shipped DCA,
and
the Solana Bridge, and VA, and a ton of other stuff. Okay, so you're looking at the man, the myth, the legend, the racer. DeFi Racer, let's go!
What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. A little stressed today. We just went back with ape.jup.ag. I'm just monitoring the server logs this whole time. But really excited to be here to share this with you guys. I'm not sure if you don't follow our Twitter, make sure you follow our Twitter. We actually just announced ape.jup.ag just maybe like an hour ago. I just want to do a quick demo. Is my screen sharing?
It will be very shortly. There we go. Your screen is now up on.
Cool. So this is ape.jup.ag. Just some background to this. If you go to jup.ag, it's a great platform, right? It's a very simple platform for you to swap from A to B or whatever it is, right? You can do a lot of things. And what we realize is that there is another segment in crypto, right? There are the degens as well as the pro users who want more data and they want a very seamless experience. So they have been going to various different platforms. And so with Ape, this is 1% done, right? This is extremely alpha, as we say.
Extremely alpha.
This is 1% done of where we want to go. Basically, if you are a degen trader, you like trading meme coins, or if you want to see data on token itself, right? There are so many tokens out there in Solana. There are a lot of tokens that have mint authority, freeze authority. So if you want to see a lot of more of this data, basically ape.jup.ag is there. But ultimately, right now, with this 1% done, our key focus is about safety. There are a lot of different ways for you to, ape into meme coins. I don't want to name specific names, but with ape.jup.ag, our goal is to make it as safe as possible. And the way we do it is ape.jup Jup AG is an interface to Jupyter Vault, right? So what you are actually using is a smart contract wallet, right? So your funds are secured in that manner. There is no private keys that we store on our servers. And this is basically how, ape.ag is the interface to this secure vault. This is what ape.jup.ag looks like right now. So you can discover, 100 of the newest tokens. If you click on, say, one of them, you will see more data about the token. Like you can see whether there is a freeze authority or mint authority. On top of that, we integrated with RugCheck XYZ, right? Fantastic platform. Just want to give a shout out to them. You can see more details about the token itself, like if there are low liquidity or low amount, for example here, right? You can see all of that there. And buying a token, if you want to ape into a token, is extremely fast. It's just one click, right? So you don't need your Web3 wallet, like you don't need Phantom, you don't need Solflare to interact, to buy any token essentially. So that's ape.jup.ag, right? Another feature that I want to highlight is mobile. So we've thought about mobile. We want it to be mobile first. So let's say you are on your desktop right now. Okay, you will find this little icon here, like a QR icon. If you click on it, you'll see a QR code. Just take out your phone, scan it, and you'll be able to use the same vault on your phone seamlessly. You just have to key in the same password that you use to initialize your vault, and that's it. Yeah, so that's one feature. I also want to show a little teaser of what's to come. So probably early next week, we'll have this live. But I want to talk about Deck Screener. I think this is one of the favorite hunting ground for a lot of meme coin traders. This is where you find and discover new tokens, right? If you go on Solana, there are a lot of ways for you to discover new tokens and so on and so forth. So let's say you're here and you found a token that you're interested to buy. I'm not going to go full degen right now, but let's say this, looks interesting, right? Manifest. So this is what we're about to launch, a Chrome extension. Okay, this Chrome extension is connected to your Jupyter Vault, right? So it's part of Jupyter Ape, and I just gotta key in my password. And if I'm on Deck Screener, it will automatically discover what token you're looking at. So if I go to another token, let's say StarCat or Spike, let's say Spike, it automatically knows what you're looking at. And just like ape.jup.ag, you'll be able to discover, the token data, right? As well as RugCheck information. And if you want to buy, it's just one click, place order. That's how it works. This is what we'll be launching soon. I'm happy to dive into more details.
It's so powerful. It has cut out DeFi Racer's internet connection. But for anyone who just missed that, the Chrome extension coming up next week, most likely. You can take Ape with you everywhere. Andy's back.
Yep.
So
go ahead and give this a try. As I said earlier, we are shipping this really fast. It's an alpha stage. There are things that aren't working extremely well. We are happy to hear your feedback. But if you're using it, I'm glad you are an early adopter. I just want to congratulate you for being that crazy and trying crazy things out so early on. We have a Discord channel just for feedback. We'll release more documentation on security model. How do we keep you safe? Boring but important details. I'm not sure how many people care, but if you do stick around for that.
So just to chime real quick, is that I think when I was brainstorming this with Cash, can you just pull up the image I sent in Planetary Call real quick? Yeah. So it's very important for me that we show that image. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. It's coming. It's coming.
Sure. Okay, awesome.
There we go. This is hey, this is it an image? Is it art? We're about to find out. They replace it right here. There we go. There it is.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, do you see it? I don't see it. Yeah.
I don't see it. Yeah.
What?
Oh, it's cool. Yeah. And anyway, just real quick here is that I think we built. We were talking about three main things for Juply.ag, right? The first, oh, there you go. So yeah, there you go. So this was my proposed brand, you know, for the thing, you know. Unfortunately, the marketing, unfortunately, DeFi Racer and the marketing guys and the intern cats, they're like, they're too boring, but I'll show you anyway, you know. I strongly feel like this should be the logo. I strongly feel that. Okay, I very strongly feel that. Yeah.
Let's get the community involved and get them to decide.
I strongly feel that this should be the logo in some way. Okay, like you need protection. Okay, like very
practice
important.
Safe decks, you know.
Yeah, you know. Okay, and so I feel like number one is about safety. Right. So we do a lot in terms of like like security. Like so instead of like having your private keys with us directly, we put it into a smart contract wallet. Okay, right. And that way any funds and you also get to log in, log out of that wallet as well, right? So if you log out and stuff, then you need to actually reauthorize to actually go use the funds. Okay, for example, yes, I mean safety can be fun, obviously, right? That's the whole point, right? Safety can be fun. Look at this image; it's awesome. Okay, right? And the second thing is portability, right? So the whole goal here is to actually allow you to bring your vault anywhere. See, guys, I'm telling you, this logo is great. Seriously, come on, like this is so hard. Like hit hard, man. Like we're in Web3, we need to hit hard, you know, right?
If it doesn't work at the internal team meeting, try it out on the planetary call. Look at the community.
I don't fucking care. The team doesn't like it. I don't care. I'm gonna fucking do it in planetary. I don't fucking care. Right? You know what I'm saying? Right? And yeah, see, someone is saying I strongly think this should be the logo. You know, right? Yeah. See, people are supporting me. Let's go. You know. Sorry. All right, and lastly, it's about like affordability, right? So we definitely want to actually make it such as actually as affordable as possible, you know? Yeah. So so I think that's how we think about it. Yep.
Pretty exciting stuff here, folks. I am very excited to see this product evolve over time. Obviously, again, just can't stress this enough. It's the alpha release. It's the first time it's out. The only way it gets better is with your feedback. So do jump into Discord after you've tried it out. All you need to do, deposit some SOL into that vault. It'll be secure, and then you can start to ape away. Ape.
It's safe, guys. It's safe. Okay. It's safe, guys. It's safe. Ape all you want. Aping is fun, but it's safe. All right.
That's right. That's right. DeFi Racer, anything else to say to the people here?
It's all, man. Have fun.
All right.
Yeah,
I think you might be stuck with this new logo, brother. I hate to break it to you, but it seems like the community has spoken on this one. All right. You know, we should do all these kind of like marketing decision type things. We should do these live on the call and just like put up a poll and see what people think. That could be actually pretty fun, like literally co-designing this stuff with the community. I don't know how much the team is going to like that. I apologize, Soju, if you're pulling out your hair. But I do think it could be a fun way to go about things. Let's see. In any case, DeFi Racer, thanks so much for coming out. Please get some sleep for the first time in a few weeks. I know you've been grinding.
Yeah. Seriously, I so one thing real quick here is I think DeFi Racer and the whole team, like Fakit and everyone, has been working super duper hard, you know, to get this up and running. You know, I think there's again, it's actually a lot of feedback. We'll try to do daily updates. You know, so yeah, tell us your feedback. We'll improve it, and we'll fix it, and then we help you ape safe. We help you bring your aping everywhere, and then we make sure that you don't make sure you don't break your bank. You know, yeah, okay. That's how we do.
Awesome. All right, DeFi Racer, I'm gonna pop you off the screen as we continue on with the call. Let's talk a little bit about Juply. Juply? Yeah, let's call it Juply, whatever. All right, so on the Juply side, Meow, I know you had some initial comments that you wanted to go through here in terms of the J4J roadmap.
I mean, yeah, I think this is a really important and critical pivoting moment, right? And I'm going to speak slowly because it's actually really important, okay? And when I speak slowly, it means that it's really important.
When you speak fast the rest of the time, what does that mean?
It's somewhat important. This is really important. Okay?
I got you.
So one of the things that I think we did in the first half of the year, right? We did LFG votes, we did working group votes, and we also did a bunch of other things, right? test vote, and we have seen how they played out, right? We have seen how many how heated the debate was. We can see how that played out in the social media, on Twitter, and everything. We have gotten a lot of feedback how to structure the votes, right? You know, and also how to basically do everything. And I think we have done enough. And now I think we are really now I think I can say that I am like, okay, I think I became comfortable enough, right? You know, to really now put a extremely substantial and important vote in the hands of the community. Right. And trust me, these are like really substantial votes. Okay. And what's that?
I said, yeah, I mean, the future of Jupiter in some ways, certainly the Jupiter community is now in the hands of the community.
Yeah, precisely, right? Precisely. So I think first of all, I think there is this idea of so there are a few reasons, right? So a few things. Number one is that the community needs to actually come together and decide on some critical things, okay? For the community, long-term goals for the community. Secondly, and very, very importantly, one thing that you notice, right, is that before there's a vote, no one really cares, right? They just talk about stuff, we can do everything, no one really cares, right? You know, but when there is actually a vote happening, bang, go! Everyone starts talking about stuff, debating things on Twitter and on Discord, blah blah blah, and all the names come out, everything, and that's great. And people hate it, but I love it, right? I think people get very stressed when there's conflict. I love it, right? I think conflict. Okay, think about it, guys. If there is no one gossiping, will you pay attention? You wouldn't. You know, gossiping is actually really important, right? I think gossiping and scandals are really important, because if there's no scandals and gossip and like hate, no one reads anything. Okay, because we're human beings, we're not robots. Okay, AI will read anything you ask them to read, no problem. Okay, we're humans. We only read things that emotionally trigger us. Does that make sense? Let me say again.
Yep.
We are humans, right? We only read things that emotionally trigger us. That's actually why having all the debate and having all the things, that even some misinformation is actually good, you know, because that really actually gets the conversation going, right? So in this case, I think the yes, precisely. Someone said the voting gets everyone talking and participating. That's the whole point, right? It's actually really, really important, you know. Yeah. So I think that's actually one big thing about this thing. So it's first of all, it's actually deciding. Second of it, actually, the second part is actually about everyone understanding some of the key things. Like, for example, I wrote the tokenomics like way back, right? You know, and a bunch of people bought the tokens and whatever, right? But then I don't think a lot of people really understood, right? Some of those things, right? Like 50-50 and everything. So it's time for them to understand. And thirdly, is alignment, right? Really, really important alignment. Okay, because I think about it, right? I think if we do a Jupylary, right? If we do another Jupylary, right? Or if we just do a token induction, or we do ASR and stuff, but it's not aligned by the community. Make sense, right? So there's no real alignment. Okay, the community didn't come together and go like, hey, we want to do this thing, right? We want to do ASR. We want to cut the token supply, right? We want to do the Jupylary, right? Or we don't want to do it, right? You know what I'm saying, you know, right? So that's actually a really important thing, alignment. So in summary, we need to decide, we need to understand, and to align. You know, right? Those are the things. So that is what Juply is about. Okay, it's about deciding, understanding, and aligning, right? You know, and by the way, just to be clear, I mean, I obviously want things to pass, but if it doesn't pass, I would have to eat it. I would have to eat it up, right? And go to the community with a different plan, right? You know,
that's right.
Yeah. So sorry, go on.
I was going to say, there's a different kind of legitimacy when the community is actually governing its own fate, and I think that's it's now in the hand. So if people say, if the vote is no, don't reduce the supply doesn't get reduced, then there's going to have to be a new kind of proposal out here, right? These are substantial decisions that typically would be made behind closed doors by just a few people, and instead, in this case, hundreds of thousands of people can participate in the decision-making process, which I think is pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing. And again, I feel comfortable. Can you highlight this thing? Someone said deciding, understanding, aligning. Can you highlight that? Yeah.
I am.
So yeah, I feel like that's actually really important, right? Because Again, but remember, in most DAOs this won't work because in most DAOs there's no real debate or discussions, right? Right. So our DAO is interesting because number one, we have shown from track record that these things actually we have a critical mass of people to actually be involved, right? Secondly, whatever we do is of large ecosystem level like consequence, so a lot of people pay attention to, right? And thirdly, a lot of people are also interested in the model, right? Because for example, when we did the work group model, lots of people are interested in the model. Like, oh wow, this is a new model of like is aligning talent, right? Like that's also that you have such great opinions about it, right? Even for people who have no J.U.P, right? And so on and so forth. I think all this is actually really important. I think we're actually really lucky to have both the scale, the level of interest, right? And also the ecosystem impact, such that people actually want to discuss these things, and that's great. I think, so I think I'm looking forward to discussing a lot of things with everybody. Yeah.
As am I. Disagreement is not the death of the community. Apathy is the death of the community, right? So
no, disagreement is the life. Like guys, this agreement is the lifeblood of the community. Okay, I say again, this agreement is the lifeblood of the community. Okay, yeah, it's seriously, I think that's actually very important.
Feature, not a bug. That is exactly what we're going after here. So for anyone here who who doesn't exactly know what these votes are all about, you can watch the full long form version of this. Me and Meow did a special edition Planetary call about 2 weeks ago. I think it's still pinned to the Jupiter Twitter page. Meow also wrote a nice long tweet about this that kind of goes into the detail about what the thinking is behind these different votes. And you can see that those are coming up here.
So someone said that the voting period is too short and unstaking period is too long. Right. So before I get to the ASR and stuff, I'll just cover that real quick. Right. Now, first of all, I think 3 days is actually a fairly reasonable period of time, right, for voting. And we can make it longer, but it will really make everyone very tired. Okay. Like every vote is very tiring for people. That's something to understand. It incurs a cost, right, to people. That's actually very important. You must understand this. Okay. Everyone who says this must understand. Voting is expensive. Okay, to people. Okay, so we actually have to take that into account. Does that make sense? And unstaking is 30 days, right? It's actually a very reasonable time. And I hope I stay by that. Why? Because number one, if you are not committed enough to hold your J.U.P for 30 days and stuff, you really shouldn't be voting. You really shouldn't be voting. I'm sure.
Because you're going to be just short-term oriented, right? What pumps the token price tomorrow is not the kind of voters that we need.
Seriously. Guys, if you are not even interested in holding your tokens for 1 month, don't vote. Done. Over. Right? Done. Simple. Right? There's a certain minimum commitment to voting. Okay? And even for ASR, right? So let me cover ASR real quick. And also, by the way, we didn't do 4-year locks, right? We don't have people to regret, right? Yeah, it's actually very important. Okay? So it's like done. I think the other thing that's actually very important here is that for ASR, right, it's actually your whatever you claim will be automatically staked. Okay? Because and it's not because you want to lock a token. That's not the point, right? The point is that the whole goal of ASR is to roll users in the voting again. Right? I'll talk a lot more next time. Okay, but Soju can go on first. Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of which, let me bring up the lady killer himself, the hardest working cat in show business. He's Meow's cat now. He's gotten a promotion. Congratulations, Soju, on your rise up the ranks here.
I didn't say anything. I didn't. No. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I always use that.
Meow's cat, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, Soju, the lady killer. Maybe you could walk us through a little bit more.
You can do my session for me, Meow. I don't mind.
No, Soju. People want the lady killer, as you can see in the chat. Soju, can you give some context around why have active staking rewards at all? It's not a commonly used kind of vehicle across. Most people just allow you to stake and then fuck off. So what is the kind of thought behind active staking rewards?
So GM, I'm here bearing presence. ASR is something that's been very exciting for everybody. So I think that's on other chains, on Ethereum and stuff, and DAOs and governance where it's more advanced compared to things on Solana. It's not really as good to you can't really make active staking rewards work there because the cost of voting is so high, and eventually your rewards will actually be smaller than the voting gas you pay. And when we launched vote.J.U.P.ag on Solana, we realized we had this we realized that we had this distributed and powerful retail user base. Let's say, like, for example, the 950,000 addresses that got the airdrop at the initial launch. These are mostly retail users. And we really needed a way to like rally them behind like the core mission, the core goals, and make them active in our governance. And because like these people are retail, these people are like, they're not like professional delegates where they are paid $100,000 a year just to read every governance proposal, what you see on Ethereum. So we really wanted to create this innovative reward mechanism to like reward these active participants in Jupiter DAO and get more voting power and more Jup into the hands of these people and sort of help shape and guide the ship forward. And I sort of grow the core community. So when we launched ASR, when we launched Jup on the LFG Launchpad, we collected 1% of fees, 100 million Jup to the community. And we sort of used this 100 million Jup to bootstrap ASR for the first 2 weeks, first two quarters. So we are about to do the first period. We are about to do the first claim, which is 50 million Jup, and we'll do one more, which is another 50 million Jup. And after that, we will do. And then during the next week or next few months or so, we will have the ASR renewal vote, which will sort of extend this further beyond the first 2 quarters. Yeah,
potentially.
So that's ASR. Yeah.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Soju. I'm getting some breaking news. Breaking news on the ASR front. What do we have over here?
Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So breaking news: you'll be able to see your allocations no later than Friday. So what we're actually working on right now is that everything is ready. We're just double checking on the numbers. What will most likely happen is that sometime tomorrow, maybe the end of the day tomorrow for our team, some of the mods and the cats of culture and the cadets can check their numbers with us, so to make sure that the numbers you right. And then after that, we'll do a full rollout of the ASR page. Once the ASR page is rolled out, you can see your voting activity. For example, do you vote 1 time, 3 times, 5 times, or on all 7 proposals? And how much Jup, Zoos, and everything you will get. And then when we launch the page, you also come with a countdown to when the claim button will be activated. So you'll be able to view allocations in advance, you'll be able to claim when the countdown is over. The final claim date is not decided now, but you will know exactly when soon in the next 2 days. Yeah.
So
now I know add.
Sorry, go on.
No, anything to add? Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I think I want to add like 3 very important things to ASR, the competition. Okay, cool. And I'm supposed to tweet it, but I'm falling behind, so just say it now, right? So first of all, right, like just going back to the whole what just reflecting what Stu was saying, right? The whole purpose of ASR is not to give away Jup. No. All right, it's not to say you stick a Jup, you get Jup, more Jup. No. It's also not to incentivize to lock up Jup. No. Okay. Nope. All right, so nope. All right. Now, the purpose of ASR is to create a really vibrant and virtuous cycle, okay, where committed Jup voters, okay, gain increasing amounts of voting power early on. And ideally, right, the earlier you are in the process, the more you benefit, right? So that's the whole point. Is to grow an active, vibrant Jupiter voter base, right? You know, because we need that voter base to make big decisions together. Think about it. If we don't have a big voter base together, can we actually make decisions at token reduction, Jupilary, ASR even? We can't do that, right? You know, so that's actually why, and so much like how Jupilary, right, are not meant to drive growth, but it's meant to recruit users to be part of the Jupiters, right? You know, similarly, ASR is not to actually get people to lock up the tokens. It's not. Right, but it's actually more to grow the active voting base. Cool, got it? That's the point of ASR. Okay, that's actually extremely important to understand. Now, and that's the reason why we didn't publicize the likely returns, right? You know, most places will go, "Hey, hello, Siking! Oh my God, 50%, come!
100% APYs coming at you!
Come! Oh my God!"
APYs here.
But we didn't do that, right? Right? If you wanted to get people to lock up, you totally do that. We didn't do that, right? Because we actually really wanted to be organic, right? Just like how for Jupilary, we don't go, hey, hello, airdrop. We don't do that kind of stuff, right? We actually want organic users, right? Similarly, in this case, we didn't publicize as well, right? You know, so the people who participated, they really was interested in their stuff, right? Which is actually very important. Okay. Now, and similarly, right? Similarly, we use the Launchpad rewards, the Launchpad fees and stuff for the first 2 sessions of ASR, because that is something that we earned, right? We earned from the thing, Launchpad. We give the community. So the team earned it and gave it to the community, right, for ASR, right? And the reason is because I think that is actually a good way to bootstrap the ASR without actually doing a downvote. Okay, cool. But obviously for moving forward, we'll be doing a downvote, right? For future ASRs. Cool. All right. And thirdly, that's actually really important to understand here is that now, because of the nature and the purpose of ASR, right? Now it will be automatic stake process, right? So you claim and you stake. Okay. So for example, if you already been staked, you can just claim it will just automatically added to your stake account. Okay. And then if you are partially unstaking already, 14 days, don't claim yet. Just wait for 14 days. Okay. Or if you claim it, everything will be staked again. Cool.
You won't be able to claim, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. Just wait for a while. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You cancel your unstaking and claim, or you could just wait 14 days. All right. Make sense? Cool. All right. So again, this because the purpose of ASR, okay, is not to give away J.U.P. It's not. Okay. It's to allow committed voters to increase their voting power and get rewarded for that. Make sense?
Just absolutely
Cool.
to clear up a few questions that I've seen in the chat here. So somebody said it's not only what is it actually based on? It's a combination of your voting activity and your voting power.
Guys, I have one more slide, guys. One more slide.
Go through it, Soju. Take it away. Buddy.
Yeah. So this was my final note is all the clarification questions that people have been asking. So first one is your ASR allocation is determined by your voting activity. So if you have 1 J.U.P stake and you vote 9 times, you will receive rewards. You will receive a share of 9 J.U.P. So you have to vote and participate in the DAO. You can't just stake. And if you have already unstaked, you still get ASR rewards based on your past voting activity. Something that's quite important to know, because a very common question I get is, I've already withdrawn my J.U.P. Do I still get ASR rewards? The answer is you do. And yes, as Meow has mentioned, because the goal of ASR is the goal of voting power, your J.U.P. will be staked and immediately you can vote with it. So if you are currently unstaking, you can either wait for it to finish the unstake and then claim your ASR, which will then be staked, or you can cancel your unstake and your ASR will be added to your main stake. Both are options available to you. Yeah. This does not affect partial unstaking. So if you are partially unstaking at half of your J.U.P, you can still claim your ASR, and the ASR will be added to the J.U.P that is not being unstaked. And ASR is not just J.U.P. ASR also consists of 0.75% of all the projects that launched through LFG. For this period, it will be Zeus, Uprod, WEN, and Shark. These tokens will be claimable spot. So you'll be able to claim them straight into the wallet and do whatever you want with them at the ASR date. So this is the most exciting thing coming out right now for the community. And once this is done, and once your J.U.P is all in your voting wallet, your state wallets, we will then be doing the 3 proposals that Mel was talking about. The
ASR.
Buddy. Yeah, so you see the point, right?
Yeah.
Your ASR and you fucking vote again. Let's go.
There are 3 key votes that you will be participating with your increased voting power. That's the idea, and we hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, thanks, Rikesh.
Excellent. Yes. So I think that answered most of the questions that were coming through in the chat. I saw somebody said, what if you staked and did not vote? You would not be eligible for ASR. You have to be actively staking and voting on DAO governance in order to be involved there. Somebody asking about Tensor rewards. I don't believe Tensor rewards are a part of this. The Tensor.
Let's be on that for a little bit. So when we did the claim path for Tensor did give the Jupiter DAO a grant of 1 million Tensor tokens, as far as I'm aware. It's going to be transferred to the DAO multi-sig and we'll figure it out from there. So stay tuned for updates on that. It's quite a common question I'm receiving now. We will update on this soon, yeah.
Yeah, so no Tensor as a part of this ASR. Stay tuned for more updates on that coming forward in the future. And I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions that kind of came through, but I think that should be about it. Excellent. Okay, cool. So, folks, get ready. It is going to happen. I saw some other person saying, like,
can you put that appreciate ASR coming first? Yeah.
Appreciate ASR coming first from Zach, so that we can vote with more J.U.P, like Meow described.
Yeah, precisely. So the people the people that participated in the first round, right? Because we'll get more Jupy to participate in the second round, right? You know, yeah. That's exactly as intended. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. ASR on the way. Claim site coming on Friday, and then the actual claim will be happening shortly thereafter. I saw somebody in the chat be like, if they don't do it in July, they're liars. It's coming in July. Just the exact date. It is coming in July.
The first vote will be July and stuff, and then we'll be looking to do. I think I talked about it. It's probably too packed to do all 3 votes in July, right? Because I think so we'll actually so I think we'll probably do it over July and August. Yeah, but definitely the first will be in July. Yeah. So me and Soju talk about this. Yep.
Perfect. Cool. I think that should be all on the ASR side, lads. Anything else we want to jump in with here?
All good.
Feels good. All right.
I just want to say that. I think that's what I said. I think really awesome to have everybody. Like, I mean, ASR is an experiment, right? So everything we do at Jupiter is an experiment. Okay. So there was no such thing as ASR in the history of DeFi or crypto before, in the world before, right? Like ASR, literally, we invented ASR together. Okay, and we experimented with ASR together. Okay, so it's a completely new thing. And then yeah, so really happy for everyone to be participating in it. We'll be seeing the results of that pretty soon. You know, I think so far it has worked well beyond our imagination, both in terms of community engagement, voter participation, everything and stuff, right? And then yeah, and we go from there. You know, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, ASR will happen for at least one more quarter. I saw another question about that. And then there will be the proposal to continue it or not. That will be up to the community. So we'll see that coming up forward. Okay. With that said, Soju, we'll say goodbye to the Lady Killer. Please, everybody, you can bring out your girlfriends, your wives now if you would like to have them watch the call. All right, Soju, we'll see you later, man. Let's go next into the partners spotlight. And we have 2 fantastic partners today. The first one here, you know him possibly as Ryan Gosling, but if you saw him just walking down the street, you'd be like, oh, that's Ryan Gosling that just walked by. No. That's actually Chris Osborne, who is the founder of Dialect. Dialect have been building in this space for a very long time. Solana team doing great work, very early to smart messages, and now have evolved this and are creating the action stack to help power blinks and actions all across Solana. Drop a little JM in the chat for our guy, Chris. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Cash, it's good to see you.
Hey, hello, good to see you again.
How are you guys doing?
True story. I met Chris in New York. It's
that's right.
It's exactly what Cash said. I'm like, hey, Ryan Gosling. Then sorry.
I'll take it as a compliment. It's been a horrible burden that I've had to suffer for a long time. So.
Yeah, looking like the world's sexiest man 3 years in a row. It's brutal. I gotta say, it hurts. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. Do other people still make that joke, or is it just me? Am I the only one that keeps saying?
And now blinks. Sorry, what's that?
I was saying,
yeah, that's right. Well, crypto's aged me 84 years, so the audience can decide if the fit's still there. But it's something I've heard before. But yeah, Blinks is the thing that we're doing now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, guys, thanks for having us on. For those who don't know, I'm Chris, founder and CEO at Dialect. First off, some really cool news on this call. Congrats on APE. That extension looks insanely cool. And when are we gonna integrate Blinks into it? So put us in touch with your team. We'd love to see what we can do there.
Let's fucking go.
But yeah, I can, for anybody who's been under a rock and not heard about Blinks, I can tell a little bit about the story of what we launched last week. So last week we co-launched with Solana actions and Blinks. Yes, there's a difference between the two. Yes, it's okay if you have no idea what that difference is. We're working on that with the ecosystem. And this new technology is taking the community by storm. So first off, thanks to everybody for their enthusiasm. We launched last week right out of the gates with an incredible set of partners, including Jupiter. So Meow, Soju, everybody, Ben, all the folks at Jupiter, thanks for collaborating with us on this. I think that told the story incredibly well. Let me explain real brief what this is. So actions and Blinks. Blinks is short for blockchain links. This is brilliance of Raj from Solana. I love it. It's such a good name.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it a brilliance from Raj? Is he taking credit for my idea?
It is brilliance from Raj. What's that?
Interesting. All right, I got to talk to Raj a little bit. That's a separate thing then. Anyway.
Yeah, once he said, I was like, okay.
Name dropper. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So blockchain links. Incredible, cool new technology. What they do is they let you share Solana experiences anywhere. and starting today on crypto Twitter, like right on Twitter. So like, what does that mean practically? Today, you can tweet a link to a token pair on Jupiter. So like literally like jup.ag/ I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this, but as you like fuss around to find the meme coins you want to trade, changes the URL. And so you can like share links directly to tokens. If you drop that on Twitter, if someone has blinks enabled, I'll explain how you turn these on, it'll unfurl as like way more. It's like link previews with superpowers. Like you can actually trade right from the tweet. And so like very literally blinks let you turn Twitter into a dApp that you can connect your wallet to. Yeah. Thank you for zooming in. So this like blink you see right here on the screen here is the blink that's live in collaboration with the folks at Jupiter to like trade coins. And you can like select a default amount, you can enter a custom amount, you can literally like you click that button and Phantom's gonna open or backpack, and you'll be able to like approve the transaction and trade right from the tweet. So it's been like insane to see the community rally around this thing. Quick note on how this is possible. I mentioned Phantom. This is actually a little known superpower of Chrome extensions that's like used in every other industry, but not much in crypto. We use them for signing transactions and keeping our keys safe. But all throughout the rest of like the internet, Chrome extensions are used to be able to actually interact with the sites that you're on. So blinks, actions, it's all a technology where developers such as Jupiter can build the actions, and then Phantom has integrated Dialect technology to be able to detect links that are blink enabled and like blink them and like basically like supercharge them with these experiences. So this is all made possible through the wallets that you know and trust. You don't have to install any new extensions. It's live today in Phantom and in Backpack, two of your most loved wallets, and it's coming to a ton more, including Solflare very soon. You literally just go into the settings on Phantom or Backpack. I think on Phantom it says experimental features. You just flip the switch, like enable blinks and actions on Twitter. In Backpack, similar experience. So we launched last week. It was Tuesday. I think it was like a week ago yesterday. And since then, over 182 blinks have been created by some of the best developers across the Solana ecosystem. In fact, I think as of right now, we're over 220, 230, with more coming in every day. This is folks you know and love, like Jupiter, Meteora, Tensor, Radium, Sanctum, Helium, Tiplink, Bonfida, Realm, Sphere, Mallow, Genopad, like literally everybody's building with this technology. It has been the most fun that we've had. Cash hinted at this. It's kind of like a journey that we at Dialect have been on for a long time with like smart messages and things like that. This is the latest manifestation of that original mission. I can just say to the community here, it's been like a blast for us at Dialect to have collaborated with Solana Foundation on this new technology, because I think it is like the latest and coolest manifestation of this idea. All right, so I want to just share a couple more things here. If you're a developer getting started and you want to build your own blink, this is an insanely easy piece of technology to get started building. The reason there's just so many of them already, yeah, thank you for pulling up our site. There's some cool stuff here. Get started at dialect.to, like to and from, dialect.to, that's our site. And from there, you can connect to our dashboard, where we've got an education hub and a bunch of new features coming soon to connect you to our docs, to open source examples. The Jupiter example is actually live in open source. We help ship that with the Jupiter team. Tensor, bunch of other like canonical examples that you can literally just like fork and get started building. You don't have to design the UI. You literally just like wire up transactions. Like actions are an API and a specification, a protocol that's owned by Solana Foundation for making transactions like hyper portable. So just wire up your transactions and then you get these beautiful experiences on Twitter and elsewhere out of the box for free. I swear you can get started in like an hour, basically. So that's part of why we've seen an explosion of such cool use cases. So get started at dialect.to. Last quick thing I'll say, you'll find this on our dashboard, but there's this other really cool site called dial.to, owned by us. It's a tight, clean, shareable link. First, developers can use it to test that their actions are working. So you can like plug in even like local host URLs and just like test your action right from there, see that it's working. But it also serves as this kind of like hyper portable, hyper shareable way of like, if you are an indie developer and you don't even have a site, let's say, you can literally like drop your action in dial.to and get a shareable link where you can pass that action around. So like yesterday, for anybody who knows, Baxis is making collectible spirits on Solana, one of the coolest and most dedicated teams. And they launched and shipped using dial.to, using that website, a link to buy like this incredibly interesting whiskey with this like incredible provenance. I don't want to tell the story, like Todd from Baxis can tell it better. And it was just Dial.2, and it all happened directly on Twitter or on Dial.2. It's just like this cool kind of like pop-up hyper portable experience that we're just like loving seeing people build. Anyway, so get started at dialect.to. So like, where is this going? And I think like Dial.2 is a great example of what I want to say there. Crypto Twitter is just the beginning. There's so many things that have to be right. Like you got to be on web, you got to have your Chrome extension installed, you got to have the feature enabled, all that, like through Phantom or Backpack or other wallets. It's great. It's like totally nerd snipe the community. People are building with it, but that's just the beginning. The things that are coming here are like, for us at Dialect, with actions and blinks today, with smart messages in the past, it is this hyper portability of experiences on the internet that we believe is a crypto superpower and has been our mission all along. So we're bringing this to other platforms and surfaces beyond just Twitter. We're also bringing it to mobile native experiences, which I think are going to be incredibly cool. It just requires a different solution. So bear with us on that. And then 2 or 3, because I can actually count, bringing it into crypto native experiences. So what if you can interact with this stuff directly in your favorite mobile wallet? Or what if you actually like want to, you know, you're a creator and you want to build the next Web3 social platform and you want native Blink support right in the timeline in that social experience. So that's all up to you. We are developer tools, and our job and our mission here is to support creators, developers. And so please reach out to us, join our Discord. You can find that information on our site. Message me on Telegram. I'm sure you can find my contact info, or find us on Twitter at Say Dialect. I can't wait to see what folks build. So looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
So one thing, so before we go on to say, I think, man, I mean, Chris, besides being Ryan Gosling for the last whatever, has been actually one of the most committed and the most creative builders on Solana for a long time. You know,
thank you.
I feel like you know, there are people that work really, really hard and do really good stuff and always try to push what technology can do, right? You know, in terms of accessibility and reach and ability. And I think Chris has been like the perfect example of those things. Yeah. So just really happy to see him you know, to see Dialect do this thing and get a lot of recognition, because it's like it's a long time coming. Yeah. So really,
it's just startups are a journey. You guys know all about it. It's shots on goal. If I can make a shameless plug to the team too, like this is not just me, it's the team. So I want to call out like Selena, who runs operations stuff, Nick and Alexi, who lead engineering, and Philip on the engineering too. Just like incredible stack team of talented people. Sabina, our designer, like it's really, we're a small team, but they're what make it possible.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like you guys build really great stuff. I mean, across like Dialect, even way back, right? You know, like it's so cool. It's just on my end, just so cool to see you guys put together. And by the way, I think if you are looking at it from product point of view, it looks simple, right? But for this to work, it's a full stack of product, backend, and most importantly, also partnerships, right? You know, you also need to get to trust you, right, to build the right impact, foundation, wallets, everything, right? So I think, I feel like being able to put together kind of like the use case, the partnerships, and the technology in the backend, both front and backend and everything, is actually really, really cool, right? And I really don't see many teams being able to do each other things. So credit.
Yeah, Meow, I appreciate that. And I just want to emphasize to the community, this is an experience. You do not need to install anything new, like Meow was saying. Like, this is an experience live today in Backpack and Phantom, 2 of the major wallets, and we've got more wallets coming. Like, it's all, for me, what I love to do the most at Dialect, just, all right, shameless last plug, is work with teams. Like, this is the thing we love to do. So if you've got a cool idea, don't be shy, reach out. That's collaboration and partnerships is what we love to do. So
it's good stuff. I will say what's so cool about this, somebody in the comments was like, does Elon know about this? Doesn't have to. The extension can work its magic without an integration directly with Twitter or YouTube or whoever else might come in. And then around scams,
you got a line to Elon though.
We'll try to get Elon.
Talk to him, but yes, yeah.
The Doge
haven't reached him yet.
But from a security standpoint, I know people in the chat wondering about scams. There is a whitelist that is being maintained by the Dialect team, if I'm not mistaken, Chris. Who's
Dialect and Solana Foundation with participation from other key players, wallets, all that. Everybody's kind of involved in the design. Perfect.
Yep. And you can only make blinks for what the API, the Actions API, actually exposes from within one of those. And there's, of course, the transaction simulator. So, you know, it's something you got to know how to use, but it's, you know, relatively safe at this point.
And I can take just a couple moments to just describe that flow. It's a really great question. right now today, for your Blink as a developer, for your Blink to render on Twitter, you have to be added to this allow list that we're trying to scale as quickly as we can. We're doing what we can. There's like 40 or 50 that are already live, so we're moving quickly. But you'll have to reach out. We're going to automate and scale this thing as quickly as possible, but kind of resoundingly with Solana Foundation, us at Dialect, the major wallets, we all kind of agreed this really is a different experience than just going to a DApp website. And from everybody's experience, including the wallets, people just like, you all just like click stuff when you see it. So erring on the side of safety for now, and we've got some great safety improvements coming in the future, and we're going to kind of open it up and automate it a little more over time, but more to be. So if you're a developer waiting, please be patient, appreciate it, and just get in touch with us if you want to chat.
Excellent. Very cool. Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming on and creating beef between me and Raj, because I'll tell you, Blockchain Links was this guy's idea. I don't know where Raj
was. It really? I did not know that. Raj didn't tell me that. So Cash, I'll check in on that. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was yours. Wouldn't be surprised.
The beef is over, Raj. I still love you. It's all good over there. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. Go check out Blake's.
Thank you.
Super fun to have you all together. Let's go on to our next guest. Speaking of patience, our next guest has been patiently waiting. Here's the Jupiter Blink as we talked about it. Our next guest, let me bring up David on to the screen.
David, hello. Cheers. Let's go.
Drop a little damn in the chat for the latest addition to the GUM Alliance, the giant universal market where we are connecting not just assets, but actual markets so we can have critical liquidity across all of them. And speaking of liquidity, who knows liquidity better than dVIN? David, do you mind sharing with people who are not already familiar, what does dVIN do?
Sure. So I'm Dave Garrett. I'm the co-founder of dVIN. Thanks, Meow. Thanks, Cash, for inviting us here today. So at dVIN, we've been around since 2021. I've been in the wine business for about 25 years, mostly in the luxury, collectible, rare side of the wine business. And what we're doing at dVIN is we're creating the universal protocol to put wine on the blockchain. So to put a bottle of wine on chain as a digital product passport, and all of the things that kind of go with that, including, anti-fraud and anti-counterfeit support, chain of custody tracking, provenance tracking, and then even, loyalty and opening the bottle data for the winemakers. So we kind of do all of that stuff, putting wine on the blockchain. And wine is an enormous asset class, right? Every year, there's about $485 billion worth of wine that's traded. And there's even just the investment grade rare class is about a $300 billion asset class that up until today has really been limited to like people with inside knowledge, people that are kind of know how to do it. Like it would be really difficult for any normal civilian to invest $50,000 or $100,000 in wine. What we're trying to do is make it really easy.
Before I go on and stuff, just to give a sense of us noobs some idea, right? Like how big is the wine market? Because I mean we see it every day and stuff. But I mean I think we all have a sense of how big Bitcoin is and stuff, but we don't really have a sense of how and also how wine collecting, right? Like how big wine is and stuff, how big wine collecting and things like that. No? Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about kind of 3 different categories. So the biggest category of wine, so wine is, like I said, $485 billion a year. So to put that in perspective, if you took the global film industry and the global television industry and the global publishing industry and the global music industry and the global video game industry, and you put them all together, it's smaller than the global wine industry. People spend a lot more money on wine than almost any other kind of random disposable income, like things that you would spend money on casually. So wine is a really, really big industry. Now, most of that is like dollar a liter, like what you're drinking on the beach in Italy, like when you're there with your family and like you're having a glass of wine at the beach. That's most of it, right? But if you take wine that's what we consider luxury wine, so wine that starts at about $38 a bottle and goes up to thousands of dollars a bottle, that luxury wine industry, that's about $100 billion a year. And what's interesting about it is that it's completely decentralized, right? There's about 30,000 independent winemakers around the world. There's about 10 million independent middlemen. I mean, when you think about it, when you're buying a $50 or $100 bottle of wine, you're not getting it at the grocery store. You're getting it at like a specialty shop or a really nice restaurant, which is, and typically independently owned. So because of that, it's a really decentralized business. It's a decentralized supply chain. And what it means is that there's no kind of unified way to track data. There's no unified way to understand transparency in the marketplace. And the limiting factor for me, I think, is that, and what I've realized is that it makes it very difficult to bring more liquidity into the market because people don't have access to data. They don't have access to, it's really hard to invest in wine. And that makes it a very difficult asset class. There's a very relatively small number of people that own investment grade wine, but it's a great asset class, right? It's actually performed better than gold or the S&P over the last 20 years, a basket of investment grade wine. So it's a great asset. We just think it should be opened up to a lot more people.
Can I just say, I love how much I'm learning right now about the wine. You're just dropping banger facts one after the other here, Dave. And I think that's the real opportunity, right? Is to connect that liquidity. That's kind of the whole mission behind GUM as well, to make sure the liquidity can flow to all sorts of new assets and all sorts of new markets over here.
So yeah, and if you talk about investment grade wine, so like investment grade is any wine that would have a market value in the aftermarket, right? Any wine that would have a secondary market. That's probably about $10 billion in turnover a year. So it's a relatively small number. It's a tiny fraction, very small number of bottles. There's probably only about 300 or 400 producers that make investment grade wine. But the average bottle of investment grade wine will leave the winery at about $100 to $150. And then it'll typically trade 3 or 4 times over 15 years before it's consumed. And when it's consumed, it'll cost about, the price will be about $800, $850. So it'll almost double in price every time it changes hands over those 15 years. So that creates kind of a really interesting, it's an interesting model, right? It's an interesting investment model. And now you and I were talking about it in Singapore, but all of these bottles look the same, right? Every bottle is the same size, the same shape, the same color. Like they all look the same. The only difference is it's not really in the utility. They all have kind of the same amount of alcohol in them. The difference is the brand, right? The difference is that kind of attention value, or we talk about the consensus, right? Like if everybody agrees that bottle is worth more and it has a specific rarity, then that bottle will increase in price. And what we think creates a really interesting opportunity for the global unified market and to put wine on chain is it has a lot of similarities interestingly with meme coins, right? Like it's something where an average person, if they get access to the marketplace, they can get asymmetrical information. They can trade in something that they can believe passionately about, and that they can get and they can have an experience related to it. And more importantly, it's a marketplace where it's really hard for giant hedge funds to come in and get involved, right? Like these marketplaces are really kind of built for small independent investors, and that's kind of what I think the global unified market is about. And certainly that's what I think the next generation of investors is looking for.
So it's actually, I just want to jump in here real quick, right, to kind of explain kind of some of the key things about this, right, and why it could be interesting. I think first of all, I think David, you should also share a bit more about what you told me in Singapore about how you track the wine opening, everything. I think that's actually a really cool thing, right? It's kind of like show off, right? That kind of thing, But here's the thing. When you are talking about physical collectibles, right? Especially like wine and stuff, it's actually extremely hard to be liquid, right? How do you actually buy and sell? How do you actually establish a marketplace, right? For like collectibles for wine, right? It's actually really difficult, right? And so that process is actually extremely fragmented and necessarily kind of complicated, you know. But I think what's actually really, really cool is that if you can actually put it up on the unified market, right, where anything is like tradable, anything is like all the tokens are tradable as if you're buying anything, right? So I feel like that's actually I feel like as what David is saying, right, it can actually really open up a whole new like imagine all the liquidity today that is going to buy meme coins, right? You know, right? Even if there's a fraction of that can be used for buying like things like wine and stuff, it's going to be a really interesting idea, I think. Yeah.
Sure. And what I find to be really interesting about it is, you know, the wines that are considered to be investment grade today, they weren't 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago or 15 years ago, those were just kind of wines that you would drink, you know, when you went to a restaurant. Now they're considered to be investment grade. So the wines that are going to be investment grade 10 years from now, like someone who's really interested and passionate are going to be able to find those wines, are going to be able to seek them out and invest in something before it becomes, you know, considered to be investment grade. So I think there's a really interesting opportunity for people who are passionate about wine. If you can open it up, there's a great opportunity for people to invest. So let me talk about kind of what we've developed. So we've created a system of smart contracts where the first is we call it a digital cork, which is essentially an NFT that serves as a digital product passport for an individual bottle of wine, right? So one NFT to one bottle. It's attached with any kind of unique identifier. It could be an NFC sticker, an RFID sticker. We're actually working with a company today called Dust that does crushed industrial diamonds in like a gel that it puts on the bottle. So that creates a unique signature. So like impossible to counterfeit. But there's a lot of different kind of players that do the on-bottle tech. What we do is, so we track that anti-fraud and anti-counterfeit. We track chain of custody. I can talk about that a little bit later. We track provenance. But the main kind of innovation that we did is, you know, wine, unlike other assets, at some point, if you're lucky, you get to drink it, right? You get to actually drink the wine, open the bottle. And we needed to create a way for, at least in the beginning, for a wine drinker, for a consumer, to be able to self-report that they've opened the bottle, and then also create an incentive to do that. So what we built is a really simple thing. You know, you tap the bottle with your phone. If the NFT is in your wallet, you can actually click a button and you burn the digital cork. So now everybody knows that there's one less of those digital corks in the world, one less of those bottles. And then we mint a new token called a tasting token, which is an authentic proof of experience. And that token comes with rewards and status from the winemaker. So imagine, you know, you've tasted 30 different bottles of, you know, Chateau Petrus. Now you're, you know, a Grand Cru status with Chateau Petrus, and you can go there and, you know, have a barrel tasting, or you get invited to a winemaker dinner. You can have status kind of in the same way that you might have status with an airline, right? Like you get access to the lounge or you get access to upgrades. Like having status with these wineries is really important because they have a limited amount of wine and a limited amount of experiences that they can offer. So so we've kind of created that mechanism, which is really interesting because it creates a lot of data, right? Every time you open a bottle and you burn that token, that lets the winemaker know where and when that bottle was opened. And if you opt in, it gets them some customer acquisition. That's really important, critical data for the winemaker to have, because right now they don't have any idea, right? If you open a great bottle of wine, like it was typically made 10 years ago by somebody 10,000 miles away, right? You have no connectivity with that producer. You have no connectivity with that winemaker. And so what we're doing is we're connecting winemakers and wine lovers at the moment of consumption. So like that transaction, that kind of opening the bottle, that's kind of key to what we do. And what's interesting about that from an investment perspective is, like, imagine knowing for sure that there's only 15 bottles of the 2001 Chateau Palmer left, right? If there's only 15 bottles, then those 15 bottles are going to trade higher. And then when there's 14 bottles, they're going to trade even higher. So like that scarcity and understanding what the scarcity is really important in the marketplace. Later this year, and kind of one of the things that we talked about, Meow, is that those rewards and status that you get when you open the bottle. Later this year, we're launching a native token, and what you'll get is VIN coin that works very similar to air miles, right? So when you open the bottle, that releases you VIN coin, which you can then turn around and buy more wine, or buy, pay for experiences, or do any number of things with.
Mm. Very exciting stuff. I got to say, I think for anyone, there's a bunch of people in the comments who are eager to learn more. You can head on over to the Jupiter Research Forum, where dVIN has posted kind of a deep dive on what they're up to. You can also go check out dVIN's website. And I think I speak for everybody, where it's very fun to have kind of new assets that were not previously on chain integrated into GUM and accessible by Jupiter routing. Hopefully it'll unlock a lot of liquidity for everybody. Meow, anything else you wanted to toss in here?
No, I just think that like really congrats on all the things so far, and looking forward to the token and the wine and everything. Yeah,
That's right.
We're really excited. So we think, by the way, just from a GUM perspective, we already have somewhere between $20 and $30 million worth of wine that we're going to be putting on chain by the end of the year.
Nice.
By the end of 2025, it should be about somewhere close to $100 million in wine on chain by the end of 2025.
I would also say that drink to earn makes more sense than say like run to earn, right? Because like
to earn,
you actually have to spend something and actually like physically destroy it per se to actually earn it, right? So it's really
and then but also like when you do that,
make it into
that's really creating valuable data, right? When you open the bottle, when you pull, we call it pulling the digital cork, right? When you do that, like, think about this: if you were making any product, if you had no idea who or where or when people were consuming your product, it's really hard to make product. It's really hard to make product development decisions. Really hard to make messaging, marketing, packaging decisions. Even having an efficient supply chain. If you don't know how people are consuming your product, it's really hard to have a modern business. Almost every business in the last 20 years has had some sort of digital transformation. I mean, if you're a beer company or a spirits company, like, you can actually see a depletion report for an individual store. Like, if I was a beer company, I could see, okay, that grocery store on that corner sold this much of my beer today. Like, with wine, you don't have any idea. You have no idea. It's like they call it the black box, right? So $100 billion industry, and you have no idea when your product is being consumed. Like, that data is super, super valuable. And that's like, I've been trying to solve that problem for 20 years. Using the blockchain is the first time I've been able to figure it out.
Real value for real people in the real world. I think that the future. Sorry, go ahead, Meow.
No, that's good to hear from you, man. Like, so awesome. Yeah, so
it is
indeed. Getting wine as well, GUM. Let's go.
That's right. And I think David and I might be sipping a little wine in London at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So, David, thanks so much for coming out. Everyone can go check out dVIN. The GUM Alliance continues to grow, folks. It is exciting times. Thanks so much, David. See you.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
All right, folks. Well, we did go on a little bit longer than usual, which has never happened before. So, that's the first time for everything, I suppose. But we are here with the not-so-surprised POAP. Look at this beautiful thing. I saw a few people on YouTube who actually had the POAP as their profile picture, which I think is just the coolest thing. And a special shout out to the J.U.P POAP freak. Meow, did you know there's a Twitter account dedicated just to the POAPs and talking about how nice they look and so on?
Oh, really? Ooh.
Yeah. They've taken on a life of their own. Shout out to Srijani from the Uplink working group who puts these together. Best artist on Solana. You can scan this QR code. If you have 50 J.U.P staked, you will be eligible to get the POAP as well. So we'll leave this on the screen for another 3, 2, 1. And there we go. I think the link is also in the YouTube chat from the Jupiter Exchange. That's a trustworthy link. You can check that out. All right. Well, with that said, we did it. Another planetary call in the books.
We
Just
did
to
it.
recap what we did here. Bunch of wins, product movements, integrations, community wins. We talked about APE, which is live now. Go try out the alpha and give your feedback in the Discord. We talked about
Missed our
ASR.
PPP. We missed our PPP. Got to do a PPP one soon. You know,
PPP special edition maybe next week. I saw there's some Punky fans in the chat, by the way. Shout out to the Punky community. They just
Punky,
like,
let's
they're always strong.
go.
Punky,
Always
strong.
awesome. Punky is always awesome. Yeah, awesome.
We heard about Blinks from Chris from Dialect, and of course, dVIN, the latest addition to the GUM Alliance. For myself, Cash Donda, please do drop a little like on this video on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We'll see you over in Discord, and then we will play the outro music, Meow's favorite song, right here.
I give a second chance to get back, but now I'm taking this still back. All the way he makes me feel the love is in the real. You so down. I give a second chance to get back, but now I'm taking this still back. It's all the way he makes me feel the love is in the real. You so down.
All right. There's some folks asking for the POAP back, and I am a man of the people. So here's the POAP link back for folks. I think Meow is frozen and has now dropped off, but thank you everybody for coming out. If you didn't get this QR code, you can see it over on the Jupiter Twitter as well. Just fast forward to the end of the live stream and you'll get it over there. Thank you very much. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here.